Gunn dropped a new trailer for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we officially have one more week until we see the new killer, victim, and map that's dropping on November 28th. So I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about that date, what we should expect to see, and some things you may have missed in that trailer that they released that are pretty interesting. And so if you like the Texas Chainsaw content that I'm doing here and the other games that I review, consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I talked more about Danny and Black Nancy in a video that I did a couple of weeks ago, talking more about their perks and abilities and stuff like that. So I will defer a little bit to that, but just to recap, these are our new killer and victim. And so they both tie into the story. Danny is Maria Flores' boyfriend. Maria Flores is, of course, the whole reason that our victims are in Texas and ended up in this situation anyways. And Black Nancy is actually the caretaker to Johnny. So this may explain why Johnny is as screwed up as he is.
Nobody escapes me.
Black Nancy killed Johnny's biological mother, and she took him in as her own. And one thing I appreciate that Gunn, Sumo, these guys do is they pay attention to detail. Detail is like at the core of the games that they produce, and making sure that we have an authentic experience, even with made up characters, is very obvious in the way they choose to implement this stuff. And of course, they want it to make sense, and I understand why they would do that, or anybody would do that. But at the same time, they make sure these tie in as good as possible while not leaving, too many loose ends out there. Now, November 28th is going to drop a lot of content. And so one thing that is for sure is that the new map is going to be available for free for everybody. So it's not like the community is going to be split up based on who bought it, who didn't. Maps are going to be available day one. I had heard that the name of the map is going to be Junkyard, but it's actually confirmed this is Black Nancy's house. So we're going to be able to play in that map. If you want to buy the new killer and the new victim, they're $9.99 each. Now, new killers, new victims, they come with their own skill tree. They come with their own abilities. As of right now, these cannot be bought in-game, right? Or you can't earn them in-game. And so while they did confirm that an in-game currency is coming, it will not apply to these killers and victims, at least right now. It definitely won't on November 28th. So you're going to have to buy those things if you want to play with the new killer and or victim. By the way, Danny was actually voiced by Chris Johnston from Teen Wolf, and Black Nancy was done by Cissy Jones, who's a pretty well-known voice actress. So yeah, while $9.99 is a little bit steep per character, hopefully at some point in the near future, they will give us the ability or give us that in-game currency, so it'll give you a reason to grind for. And that's something I've talked about extensively in other videos, giving you something to work for. If it's cosmetics or if it's characters or any number of things, and you got to remember too that they go through the motion capture and, the voicing and the dialogue and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like it's free to do this. And I understand that. So I'm just happy that we're getting the new map. This is the biggest, probably the single biggest addition that's going to come to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because honestly, these three maps have been in rotation now since the game dropped, and we really desperately need something new to come along and give the game new life. And so this map, whether you choose to buy the new characters or not, this map is going to be essentially a lifesaver for the game. Now, what else can we expect along with everything I just talked about? This will also include the big patch. And so over 250 fixes are coming to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And some of the most notable ones, the grandpa cutscene is going away. Thank you, Gunn, for listening, because this thing needs to go away. It's one of the things we're just tired of seeing it. And so I'm so glad we don't have to see it any longer. Grandpa's going away. When 5 out of 7 victims are readied up and you have a full lobby, the timer will automatically drop down to 30 seconds. So this will help to speed up the in-game lobby in preparation to get into a game. They're going to be moving the Valve tank from downstairs in Slaughterhouse to upstairs. So this will make it more consistent with the other maps that we already see. If you know and you play Family Main and Slaughterhouse, it can be a real pain trying to work that valve when it's the only one downstairs. And so this is an exploit that desperately needed to be fixed. When you're crouch walking, this will no longer trigger Cook. And they're also working to, eliminate Cook's ability to basically spam his ability over and over and over. And then again, when you're crouch walking, it will not trigger his ability.
Come on now. You know I can't let you leave.
And they're also removing the requirement that Leatherface has to be in the game. And so hopefully this will speed up the games, but it's also going to change the dynamic of the games, I think, in a big way. And I really do believe people are going to miss having Leatherface on their team when they realize how important he is. But I appreciate that they're taking this step. Even though Leatherface is the literal face of the franchise, it's still nice that they're, doing things to help speed up these pregame lobbies. And they're closing off the 5th exit in Gas Station, which is the gas station exit, or right there where the barbecue pit is. And so that will be closed off. So it's only going to be 4 exits. And they have a bunch of other things that they're working on. I haven't seen anything else or any bigger things like confirmed. But like I said, they're working on over 250 fixes. So the patch is coming, new map, victim, and the map all on November 28th. Now, you may be looking at that trailer and being like, oh man, this is really awesome, but there's a couple things I wanted to point out here. First is, did you notice that the picture with Cook and Black Nancy, this kind of looks like a portrait, almost like they're together, and this would make even more sense as to why Johnny is so screwed up in the head. Not only is he raised by Black Nancy, by the way, she's named that because she was married 3 times previous and all of her husbands ended up dying, so people kind of associate death with her, hence Black Nancy. But then you have Cook as his potential father. That would make him, just completely mental. And so it definitely makes sense and ties in with the lore of the game. I had seen some people saying that they're siblings. It's a possibility, but I think it makes more sense that they are actually a couple and Cook is like the 4th and final husband, maybe. Also, it looks like a new blood mechanic is coming. I don't know if y'all noticed, but Anna actually had additional blood on her face and on her shirt. And I've never seen that graphic before. And I play Killer Main a lot now, and I've never seen that. And so I don't know if maybe it's a bloody pack coming for victims or if it's a new blood mechanic. We'll just have to wait and see. Also, I thought it was a nice little touch that Hitchhiker's camera that he uses in the 1974 film is right next to the picture of Cook and Black Nancy. Also notice that Leatherface's chainsaw he uses to finish off Anna is actually Nicotero's chainsaw. So it looks like Gunn actually listened and they're going to allow us to use whichever chainsaw we want. As long as you own the Nicotero Leatherface and you want to play with the bloody version of Leatherface or the grandma version or whatever, or the old lady version, then you can use the Nicotero chainsaw to go along with that. And so that's pretty cool. I mean, I understand why they wanted to keep all of that together because it's a premium character, but at the same time, you bought it, so you should be able to use it for whatever Leatherface you want to. Another interesting detail is Nancy's ability allows her to see through the perspective of one of the victims, but this will actually stun her for a period of time. And so when she opens up the door all the way, you can see she has like cataracts or something in her left eye. And so I don't know if this injury is what allows her to use this or whatnot, but I thought it was kind of a cool way to tie her into that ability. You also see Black Nancy drop in a sugar cube into that cup of tea. Now, I don't know if they're trying to point to the fact that she can use certain potions to negate the effects of the stun or lessen those effects of that stun whenever she uses her ability, but could be another cool little Easter egg there. Now, it's also obvious that Black Nancy already knew about Maria Flores, and we know Maria Flores is going to be seen in this map, so I'm hoping there's some kind of cool cutscene that, Anna and her friends actually see Maria Flores' body, or if you come across her body in the map, I'm hoping there's some kind of cool cutscene or way to tie that in. I'm sure they will, because they, like I said, attention to detail is something they do, but you'll notice the picture that Danny hands to Nancy, right, is right there when she's putting the sugar cube in the tea, but Nancy already has the flyer right there, so it's obvious that she already knows because, well, Maria Flores is a victim of Black Nancy's. We also seen that the basement exit is returning. Now, I talk about that because they do mention that there's going to be different types of exits. So I don't know if we'll get them in this map or in future maps, but the basement exit is definitely returning. And so that's it. We just got to wait one more week to see what this new map brings, and I'm excited. And as soon as that map drops, I will be here to share a first look and some gameplay of that new map and give you my overall opinion of it. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. And of course, I want to hear from y'all, man. What are you expecting from this new map and you know, future drops and the patch? Will this bring you back to the game if you left? Love to hear those things down below. Big thanks to you guys. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.